there. Just give me a second here. I'll do one here in a minute here. Give me a minute. No. All right, give me a minute here, okay? Sorry about that. Give me a minute. I'm done. All right, give me a minute here. All right, 15 seconds, I'll start, okay? In about 10 seconds, I'll start. Alrighty, just 1 minute here. 5 seconds. Alrighty, and then now. All right. Well, tonight I'd like to talk about neoliberals and the neocons, okay? We don't want to talk about them tonight. Well, first of all, the neolibs are the libtards and shit like that, all TV crying about, illegal immigrants, families getting torn apart, ripped apart, and everything else. Now, normally I'm not a huge Jeff Sessions fan. I think he's a big disappointment myself, but he is right what he said, though. Hey, you're right, no matter who you are. I mean, some shit Obama said I agree with, but nothing out right now is this. If you don't want your families being separated, you want your families getting separated, don't break the law. See, for so many years, a lot of illegals across the border, trying to use, I guess, their kids as scapegoats. And President Trump pretty much said, hey, Greg, how you doing? But President Trump pretty much said, no more. Rightfully so. No more. And a lot of, including Democrats, are speaking out against this for years. But like I said, all talk, no action. They're speaking out against it, but done nothing about it all these years. About, illegals crossing the border with their kids, stuff like that, and they're crying on TV about they're getting separate, stuff like that. This problem been going on for years. Laws been passed against stuff like this, And what's funny is about all this right here, they're on TV crying about separating families. You can look on the liberals' Facebook news feed, shit like that, and you find it all over the place, about how awful, Trump administration is for separating their kids from their family, stuff like that. But, here's the thing, me and sort of like in law enforcement, and some of you guys were too watching this. When somebody commits a crime, let's say, an adult male commits a crime and he has a family, he has a kid and wife, because drug smuggling, murder somebody, armed robbery, more than likely he's going to jail, and rightfully so. So when he goes to jail, he's separated from his family. And I have seen instances, these are American families where cops go in, a huge drug ring, stuff like that, where both parents goes to jail, so the whole families get separated, That's just the nature of the beast. When you break laws, unfortunately, stuff like this happens. Hang on 1 minute, please. Sorry about that. My dog has something that she was supposed to be having. I appreciate your patience, though. But like I said, when you break the law, this sort of things happens. All right? And for many years, predates Obama, illegal stuff like that was sneaking border with kids. And if you miss a news conference in California with one of the directors of ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE, says himself, a lot of times when they bring those kids with them across the borders, sometimes it's not their kids. Yes, it's proven fact. Not their kids. A lot of times it's not their damn kids. A lot of times they're smuggling, trafficking those kids across the borders for Lord knows who what. With some kind of labor trade, some shit like that, for slavery, basically. Human trafficking. Think about that. So when this illegal so-called family crosses the border with kids, sometimes it's not their kids, and they're not really a family. It's some kind of criminal ring going on with that as well. And they'll stop to think about that before going on TV and crying about, President Trump's administration separating families. And let me tell you something. And technically, by all rights, President Trump, his administration, not do nothing wrong, because they're forcing the laws on the books that's been there for many years. So instead of getting mad at Trump, like one guy said, be mad at past presidents. This predates Obama. I can't really blame all this on Obama, okay? Much as I want to, but I can't. I just can't. This predates, Bush Sr., Clinton, we go back to the Bush Sr. and all this, who passed these laws in the past. But none of them actually enforce these laws. See, what President Trump's doing, he's doing one thing that the past presidents failed to do, is actually enforce immigration law. That's what they're supposed to do. Of course, the neocons and the neolibs are protesting this because the neocons don't want to lose their cheap labor, obviously. That's why they're protesting against this. And the neolibs use a kind of sympathy card, hopefully for some sympathy votes, basically, to say to stop this madness. But by all rights, it's enforcing immigration laws, basically. Laws has been on the book way before President Trump's got in office. A lot of these laws is before President Obama got in office. Let me tell you something, okay? The issues with all this we're facing right now with immigration laws, with illegal immigrant stuff like this. If the past presidents have done their job, we wouldn't have this issue today. That is a known fact. President Trump is the first president we had in a long time who's willing to tackle these issues and try to solve these issues. That's what he's trying to do. And a lot of times it's a case-by-case basis, So just because a family unfortunately gets ripped apart or gets separated, and get deported back, doesn't make customs or ICE agents mean and awful people. What that means is they're doing their job, enforcing immigration laws that's been on the books for years. The same immigration laws that Bush Sr., Clinton, Jr., and Obama passed throughout the years, put it that way. That's what happened. You just cannot ignore the problem. You can't. And that's what the past presidents did. They just ignored it or trying to whitewash or do some kind of a soft enforcement where Obama did some kind of fucking catch and release program. This shit didn't work. And let me tell you something. If we keep going like we're going now with this shit, if we don't stop it, we'll become a third world. America will become a third world country, like it or not. But I guess the neolibs, they don't fucking give a shit about that, I guess they love the fact we live in a third world country. Well, I'm taking it, how they're acting nowadays. And so is the neocons as well, But that's one reason they hate this. I guess they want to bring them all in here for cheap ass fucking labor or some kind of sex trafficking ring. Basically, this is my humble opinion on that. But this is how stupid and banal they are, All these laws that President Trump is enforcing predates him. He's the first president we had in many years who's actually enforcing immigration law and letting customs and ICE do their jobs. Okay, do their jobs. You cannot just ignore the problem. Now, you go on TV and cry as much as you want to about this issue, but remember, just try to remember this. If Obama did his job, if Bush Jr. did his job, if Clinton did his job, and Bush Sr. did their jobs, we will not be having this issue today. Basically, the neolibs don't like this because they want votes, basically. The neocons, they don't like it because they just want cheap labor, basically. Because it all boils down to cheap labor and votes in their eyes, basically. In their eyes, And let's face it, well, I'm going to go back to Bush Jr. here. Bush Jr., was addressing this. If you remember, when President Bush was president of the United States, was addressing these issues, but did nothing. He was so worried about fucking going to war with Iraq and Afghanistan, other useless things, we created power back in Iraq, but I'm not going to talk much more about that. I'll digress on that. He was so worried about the Middle East, ignoring our home issues, including this right here. Yes, he talked about this, even talking about building a wall back then, but never did it because A, he's a fucking idiot, and B, Bush, like it or not, is a neocon. So all he cared about is fucking doing war in the fucking Middle East instead of taking care of local issues, basically. And Obama, reason why he didn't fix it, because he needed votes. He knew in 2012 he was in danger of being a one-term president. So he needed votes. He needed to make up the slack. So boom, he came soft on immigration, Basically, that's what it boils down to. You can whitewash it. You can try to cover it up. But basically, the problem never went away. So President Trump is trying to solve this damn problem right here. It's not about votes or cheap labor. It's about solving the issue that should have been solved several years ago. I'm talking about decades ago, probably all the way back to the President Reagan days. I'm just being honest with you, So basically, no more, what President Trump's trying to say, no more you can grab a couple of kids and try to sneak across the border with a couple of kids claiming you're a family and find out later, because they have found out later a lot of times that the kids they bring with them, a lot of times it's not their fucking kids in the first fucking place. That's happened time and time and time again. All righty. And here's the thing now. I'm gonna have to go to another subject right here. I'm gonna talk about North Korea. More about the neocons and neoliberals, because they earn their names, The neocons and neoliberals, the libtards and shit, they would rather go to war with North Korea than to Trump to secede. Because the neocons, they love war, let's face it, Bush Jr., prime example. Neocon, what did he do? He brought us to war in Afghanistan. He took us to war to Iraq. We almost went to war in Syria because of damn Bush, Yes, that's what Bush did for us. Brought us to war, but basically ignored the issues in the United States, basically. And the neo-libs, they want a war with North Korea so President Trump would fail. Yes, this gets about the libtards and neo-libs and all them, Hillary Clinton. They so bad want Trump to fail, they would rather have war with North Korea, but basically see millions of dead American children. Yes, they rather have millions of dead American children on American soil than President Trump secede. That's what the neo-libs want. That's why they want war with North Korea, just to make Trump look bad. That's what they want a recession for. They want an economical collapse, something that's worse than the Great Depression in the 1930s. They want that Trump to fail that bad. Yes, this is how maniacally evil the neo-libs, aka Bill Maher and Hillary Clinton, basically, and the neocons like Dick Cheney, Jebediah Bush, George Bush, and a few others, basically, and a few others. And this is why Washington and our government have been failing us for so many years. So many years. What President Trump's doing today is shit that should have been done a long time ago. North Korea has been an issue basically, as far as I can remember, the fucking 90s, basically, as far as I can remember. Probably before that, if I was before that, it's before that. But we had the issue with North Korea for almost 50 years, basically. And President Trump solved the issue with North Korea. But do the neo-libs want that to happen? No. Do the neocons want that to happen? No. Because you know why? The neocons, they want war with North Korea. To them, it's big money, and it's big money for the corporate allies and the fucking defense contract, stuff like that. That's why they want a war with North Korea. The neo-libs, they want a war with North Korea just to see President Trump fail. We have neo-libs, liberals, libtards, basically screaming, nuke Korea, basically. See, these are the people who say they love children so much, but they rather see millions of dead American children. They rather see that than Trump secede, basically. This is how maniacally evil the neo-libs and the neocons as well, evil they are on these kind of subjects. I can't just believe what I'm seeing right now, It seems like, okay, I can respect the classic liberals. The classic liberals were pro-American, pro-Constitution, pro-Second Amendment, and pro-freedom of speech. They were pro all that. They was pro-America, period. And they just fucking flip-flopped this far-left Marxism idea, which they think everything American is evil, racist, and bigotry, basically. Hey, Cussinger, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a long time, buddy. That's but how libtards are nowadays. They flip-flop. They came to this cast label as a party of peace, basically to a warmongering party, just to see Trump fail. And the neocons, basically, they just want war for profit, basically. That's what they want war for profit, basically. That's all I care about, the neocons, is profit. In war, there's money to be made in war. That's why neocons want to go to war with North Korea, to put more money in their pockets and their corporate ally security contractors' pockets as well. That's all they want. And the neolibs, they want war with North Korea just to see Trump fail. Yes, like I said, the neolibs rather us have a Great Depression, have a major conflict in North Korea, so Trump would fail. They don't give a shit about all the suffering it caused. They don't give a shit all the dead people, the dead children that it caused. They don't care about none of that shit. They just want to see Trump fail. That's what neolibs want. And the neocons, they just want money in their pocket, You hear the libs on TV, crying on TV, say they care about the kids. But it seems to me they don't give two shits about American kids being killed by a nuclear bomb. And basically everything President Trump is doing right now has prevented us from having a nuclear bomb in our own backyard of the United States. And everything Trump's doing, as far as immigration with the kids, immigration kids being separated and stuff, he is enforcing immigration laws been passed by past presidents from Obama on down that should have been enforced a long time ago. Yes, all these issues that President Trump has been addressing should have been addressed years ago, decades ago. If they did that, we will not have these issues today. But the neolibs are just too stupid to see it. And the neocons, all they care about is war and money. And that's all I'm going to say about that tonight. God bless you. Have a good day, and bye-bye.